right, so it's been 2 weeks. I'm back to bother Clint some more, and flew in this evening, and we're getting after it tonight. So he is building me a latch for the window. I think we talked about this in one of the way earlier videos, but look at the size of this window. It's awesome. It's full length, and you know, it's going to latch right there, and you can fly with it open, which is pretty much a requirement for anything I fly now. I fly around with my window open like 9 months of the year, so I absolutely love that it has that. But anyway, I'm building fuel lines. I just took this one out. This one was already made, and I opened this up, put a grommet in it, reshaped it a little bit. Now I'm building the one for this side. Okay, so I got that line bent and installed. There it is. So those are ready. I may extend this down with more aluminum just for weight. Just put a little coupler in here. Haven't decided yet, but either way, the lines come down right in this area and right down in this area and come across. And I basically have these 3 bays to work in. So that's station 1, you know, station 2, and then 3. And then right up there is where the fuel goes through to the carburetor. Essentially, this is kind of, hopefully this will all fit in the station 2. We'll see. Fuel flow, fuel pump, that really sensitive check valve. It takes no pressure to open, which is cool. And so what I'm doing is, this is a flow through fuel pump, but I just don't trust things like that personally. If something was to happen and for some reason fuel couldn't get through this and it starved you out, that would be terrible. So I'm routing around it with this check valve. And of course the check valve, when the pump is on, it won't let fuel go in a circle backwards. But when the pump's off, fuel will actually probably go through both these lines, and that'll make sure we get plenty of flow. The pump in these airplanes is, they have enough power and they climb out so steep that it's a good idea to have the pump on if you're doing a steep climb out. And then I might save, this might end up being station 3. Obviously I got to put some more fittings in, but you get the idea. This is a 100 micron pre-filter before all these devices. And then when everything's all said and done, right before it goes through that bulkhead and into the carburetor, and this may be on the other side. This is just a fuel pressure port. It'll go through this 40 micron filter. And what I did with this filter, I wasn't real impressed. The filter's decent quality. I've used this stuff before, but there it is. This is an extra one. I don't know if I took a video of this. If I did, I might cut back to it. Okay, just a little project for the Badlands Traveler. This is part of the fuel system stuff I bought. This is a 40 micron post filter. So I've got a 100 micron pre-filter, big one, at the beginning of the fuel system, and this is the last step. The thing I didn't like about this one, I bought this one, it's a quality filter and everything. It's from Speedway Motors. As you can see, there's a spring down in there, big spring down in there in the end, and that shoves the filter into the end here. But what I didn't care for is, okay, so this is a 40 micron filter, so it's pretty fine, you know, like for the carbureted application, it's plenty good. But all it's doing is shoving this face right here. You can feel these letters, like that's like engraved into the filter. And this is just getting shoved right there into the end of this, where the fitting goes, okay? And that surface is real smooth and flat. This is somewhat smooth and flat, kind of. But 40 microns is pretty small. And so I feel like, well, there is a potential for stuff to get around that and maybe get across this surface and go out the outlet without being filtered properly. I mean, I don't care for this. So anyway, what I got is I've got some O-rings. I'm gonna machine a groove right here. I'm gonna lay an O-ring in there, and then this spring will at least shove that into the O-ring. And is that still perfect? Not necessarily, but I think it gives me a better chance at sealing out any debris and not letting anything past. Okay, there it is. Actually, it was pretty quick, pretty easy. Got a nice fit. You know, it's just sticking up that little bit that you want, so it's trapped real good. Hopefully that'll seal better. I think this is an improvement over what it was. So Okay, so where I ended last night was I changed things up again a little bit. I'm going to grab one of Clint's TIGs and weld these two fittings together. It'll just change everything. I have everything covered up right now to keep dust out of it overnight, but it'll allow me to have the fuel pump sitting there and bring the lines up right over the top for that part where I'm plumbing around it through that check valve. And it'll just fit way better in the airplane. All right, so I was able to convince Clint to weld this for me because, well, it'll be nicer if he does it, and it's very nice. Good guess on the fit up on that, huh? That's about as low profile as that's gonna get. All right, well, I got Clint to weld up one more fitting while he was at it. Just, yeah, like I say, they come out a little nicer if he's doing them than me, and being that's a fuel system, we want this to be as quality as possible. But anyway, this will allow, again, to keep that nice tight angle. There you go. All right. Yeah, good fit too. No wobble or anything. Okay, so I'm getting ready to mount in this stuff in Station 2. I've got some little baffle seal pieces. I wanted to raise it up a little bit so the fittings will clear better. But also I'm trying to just kind of isolate it from vibration and whatever I can from the airframe, just because there's a fair amount of solid pieces in here. And I had to do that to keep it short. And I don't want, you know, something to break. Now I'm going to support it. Obviously it mounts here. I'll find some way to give it a little bit of support out here so that it's not just all hanging on this and whatever. But getting rid of vibration always seems to be a good thing.
Close? They're really close.
So you guys just made up my fairings for the top of the lift strut. Man, that's beautiful. Nice job. Those look great.
See how they look when we get them on.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Jeremiah's the carbon fiber man around here nowadays, it seems like, huh?
Something like that.
He does good work. Ah, thanks, man. That's really cool. Now, I'll show you guys. These are going up here because, you know, there's a pretty good hole up here by the time it's all said and done to do everything needs to be done with the lift strut. And so that's going to cover those up real nice. Okay, so I just bent up this piece here. This was a little bit tricky. I'll show you where it goes. This, there wasn't room for a hose, but there's good room for this. So I'll have to make a, you know, obviously the fitting goes on the end there, butts into that, and then this sets me up for that last filter, which is the last thing that goes up front here. Still got to do some mounting, but most of it is actually put together now. So that's going pretty well. All right, Clint's proud of me, I'm sure. He gave me this stainless mount from one of their exhaust kits, and it fit that pre-filter perfectly, but it's stainless, so it's heavy. And so I'm making him proud. I'm over here, I set up the mill, and I'm gonna put a whole bunch of holes in this and really lighten it up. All right, all done lightening up. Feels a lot better. I can live with that. Fuel system's really coming together here. The last section is just kind of laying here, but this mounts in. I just finished this simple little aluminum mount, just some zip ties and some baffling around it to protect it. And again, that was just to kind of support this since it's solid all through here, so it doesn't vibrate or anything. Between the mount over here and all that, it's pretty good. But and then the pipe up front, obviously all that's done, connected, everything's good there. So yeah, really almost done. This has gone pretty well, dare I say out loud. All right, guys, I'm going to stop and interrupt this really intensely exciting fuel system build part of the video. And you know, that was going really well, and we're getting through that so quick. And while I was up there, I did film some other stuff I want to show you guys. We went over to another location where the wing shop is set up, and we're going to meet Dave. Dave is in charge of building the wings for the BLT. And so we're going to talk to Dave, talk to Clint, learn some more about the wing, look at it a little more in detail, and just show you guys some of what's gone into that whole progression. You know, the wing really is overall the heart of this plane, of course, and where the real magic is. So want to show you guys that a little closer, and we'll get back and finish up that fill system. All right. So we're getting a little first look at the new prototype tank design, huh? And how many gallons is it?
25.
I'm hoping it's
A
above
bunch?
25.
Above 25?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm hoping to break 50 with the pair.
That's pretty good upgrade.
Yeah.
Extra 5 gallons aside, 6. And wider too.
Yeah.
It'll be wider because the
Yeah.
Can I
Yeah.
pick up on it? Is that okay? Oh yeah, wow, that's not bad. It's very light. Okay.
Yeah, this is what, 6 pounds if I had to guess.
Yeah. I guess I'm on the addition.
My 172 tanks is just an easy, sure, clean way to go, but this is
Off
the
the shelf.
right. This will take it up a notch when you get it all figured out.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, we were just having a discussion about spreading out that load when the tank's full of fuel and you put some G's on the airplane. These are they're pretty heavy duty stringers coming across that the tank fits into with some special foam to kind of support the load. So you got some load on the perimeter, you got load there. They're spreading it out all over. Yeah. These wings are beautiful. We're just looking at some of the improvements, you know, the little small things that they figured out over time. You know, he's putting little breaks in on these edges so they just lay down really flat and you don't have gaps. Mine have little gaps here and there, nothing bad at all. You know, they look fine, but these are just really coming out nice. You know, he's really got it figured out. It's cool to see. Just cool to see the things that get figured out, you know, in time. But such a cool deal, building their own wings. It's just amazing to me.
So, yeah, I started doing that. It started making a cleaner, nicer finished edge on the trail.
Yeah, I did notice that the trailing edge on a couple of them. I mean, and the trailing edge is starting to look a little bit wavy.
Yeah.
Just stuff you learn.
Yeah. So, and I'm pretty methodical when I break that false spar.
So one of the ways we do the wing leveling, see if I remember how to do it now, because Dave's been doing it.
Right.
But
You do it upside down.
yeah, you do it upside down, so you can drill the top skin in as long as the wing's reasonably close to level. And then when you roll it over and do the bottom, that's when we throw the levels on everything. And we have 3/8 of an inch of washout at the rear spar.
Okay.
From level.
Right.
And then that's what these deals are. So we have a lock that goes on the rotisserie. So when you do the bottom, you can put the level on. You got a turnbuckle to adjust it and get it exactly.
Okay.
And that locks in the washout. You can drill it in the final time, and upsize it to an 8, and that way all of your holes are crisp and tight, and I mean it is dead nuts on. I don't know. The margins are really tight on the washout for these. So
Right.
so far they've been flying straight and level, so
Yeah.
that's good.
That is good.
And then when you put it together for the final time, you're locked in. And you do every other hole, top and bottom with the rivets, and then it don't move after that.
Yeah. Right. That's awesome. Nice.
The last thing I do.
It's really cool. Dave was just explaining how this section right here is the last section. He pulls the calicos out and rivets, and he's just learned from experience that you got to wait on that one. If you rivet that on early, it'll have just a little bit of a a little bit of a waviness to it. It's just, and we were just talking about all the little details of all the special tools they've had to make and build their own brakes and all the little things to do this, and then learning, the order of everything the best way. And it shows that they've, worked through all that and figured it out. All right, so I'm making up the lines to drop down, along there, down to where my Y fitting is. And I figured, make them out of aluminum, save some weight over hose. Even though I'm not putting like AN fitting nuts on it or anything like that, I'm not using those, but I just use that flaring tool and just flare them just a little bit. Just gives it that nice little end for when you put a hose clamp on it. Gives it something to bite. Anyway, I'm going to make up those lines, and then I'm going to pop the cowl and make the connection to the carburetor, and then the fuel system is done. All right, just quick recap. This has been a quick trip. I'm probably going to head out in the morning. We'll see. I got to check the weather and whatnot, but got a lot done. Anyway, fuel system is literally done. Okay, so there's those lines. Ran them down to there. You saw most of this already. Shut-off valve, pre-filter, fuel flow, fuel pump with the one-way check valve bypass. It takes very little to open. Back into a single line. Final filter, bulkhead, and then on the outside, I put some, on the cowl side, I put some fire sleeve on it, but there's the last fittings there. Still quite a bit to go. There's still cowl stuff. I said I would talk about this in the next video, and you can see there's some aluminum stuff Clint made here, and then this piece is carbon fiber for the back, and he hasn't made the the front piece. It's probably going to angle up a little bit to kind of avoid some of this stuff, but he's got to make those front pieces still. But good start on that. These are the rings. Those rings, he's done something different on mine. That's kind of a new thing, but those rings are going to end up molding in and fitting into the front of the cowl to give that a stronger, more reinforced, a little bit of a tube, going inside the cowl, and just give it a better fit and finish and more strength and some cool stuff like that. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the wing tour. On this video, we went over to the other shop, did the wing tour with Dave and Clint. That was cool. Get to see that, the new tank idea. I got the 172 tanks. I'm about 40 gallons, not quite 40 usable, of course. I don't have a header yet. If I do fuel inject this thing, I'll put a little header down under the rear seat, which will mean I'll have to redo a lot of my fuel system, which bums me out to think about, but that'll be a while, so, whatever. But, because I'd like to have over 40 gallons usable. I'd like to have, maybe 42 or something like that. So I'd like to add a couple gallons, but either way, pretty good amount of fuel. These things, because they're pretty clean and pretty fast for a bush plane, if you throttle back to 6-7 gallons an hour, you still get really good speed. That's all for this one, you guys. I'll be back up here as soon as I can. I don't know when, and we'll keep plugging away. We're trying to get it done ASAP, and I'll bring you guys along for the rest of the adventure, right up to and including putting this thing in the air for the first time. So thanks for being here, you guys. Subscribe to my Patreon if you want to help out. I haven't been doing a ton of content, so I really appreciate those who have stuck with me on Patreon. Thank you, because that's been very helpful, and I know I haven't been delivering a lot of content, but we'll be getting back into it, and I'll put the link up if you guys want to get involved and help. I really do appreciate it. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys. You know the deal. See you on the next one.